Today, it's all about eating and exercise. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Manya and I have maintained a 20-pound weight loss all from WW for the past 2.5 years. And what I'm going to show you today is what I eat a day and how I exercise. When I started WW, my goal was to lose weight. I didn't really think much beyond that. But now I'm trying to drop about 10 pounds that I have gained. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that when I moved to Japan in the tumultuous era of moving here and the getting settled, I gained back 10 pounds. And so I'm trying to lose that. But really at the end of the day, my focus over the past year or so has really been more about longevity. And that's kind of a buzzword out there right now, but I feel like it really fits my lifestyle and who I am. As I think about how I want to live the second half of my life, and I think about that a lot, I know that I want to maintain good health. It's no good to live until you're 90 or 100 years old if you can't get out of bed or you can't walk and you're always worried about falling. And I've certainly seen that in a lot of older people around me. They may be older, but they're not really living full lives. And I've spent, like so many people, the last year or so reading a lot about longevity, watching a lot of videos about longevity, and thinking about how I want to age, because I'm almost 50 and it's time to think about that. Now, I will confess that exercise has never been an issue for me. Exercise has really, I would say, saved my mental health. I have exercised mostly cardio for a long time. I have run, I've done yoga for the last 20 years. I enjoy a good sweat. It makes me feel good. But that's kind of as far as I got. That exercise is good for me. It's good for my mental health and it's good for my heart. But longevity really talks a lot about strength. The fact that we lose muscle mass every year as we age, quite a lot, something like 5 to 8% starting when we're 40. And if we don't focus on maintaining that muscle mass, if we just do nothing, that eventually that's what puts us at high risk of falling, of hurting ourselves, and just becoming bedridden or unable to really move very much. So in January of 2022, I started lifting weights. And I started with a beginning strength program on the Peloton app, which I highly recommend. It was great. It taught me how to hold weights, how to hold my body, proper form, and it really built over the weeks of the program, and I really liked it. And then I transitioned to Carolyn Girvan. She's on YouTube, she's free, and she has this great series called Iron, and it is pretty much just lifting weights, and I used my apartment gym. I did Iron a couple of times, and then I transitioned to some of her more higher cardio, so more jumping, more cardiovascular work along with lifting weights. And then I just kind of got bored of her, and then we moved to Japan and I got away from doing much of anything. August or September of this year was this. Now, I read a book by this author, Mike Matthews, called Thinner, Leaner, Stronger. It was about strength training and women. And then I bought this Year One Challenge workbook. This is a pretty cool book. It's pretty big, but it covers an entire year. And you can either choose 3-day a week, 4-day a week, or 5-day a week workouts. And I started with the 3-day a week simply because my parents were coming to visit for a month And I figured that 3 days a week was the most that I could commit to. And I did. I did 9 weeks of 3 days a week, oftentimes in a hotel room. I carried this massive book with me all over Japan, and I did the best that I could with what was available to me in the hotel gyms. And then I took a couple weeks off. We went to the Maldives and I did not exercise. And then I came back and I started round 2 at 4 days a week. This is serious weightlifting. This is using the squat rack with the big weight plates on the bars. This is squats and deadlifts and leg presses, and it's waiting 3 minutes in between each set, and it's lifting as hard as you possibly can to the point of muscle failure. It is serious. I felt like a badass. I'm telling you, I felt like a badass, especially since my gym is full of young men because it's across from a university, and I was often the only woman in there, and certainly the only woman using the big cages and the squat racks. So I felt like a badass. Did I love it? Not particularly. It's very, very hard on a level that I'm not sure I found super enjoyable. And then I hurt myself. 3 weeks ago, I was doing a squat, and I felt as I was coming up, I had a bunch of weight on my back on the bar, and let's see, I had 6.25 kilograms on each side, plus the 45-pound bar. It was the first set, and I felt something twinge in my back. It wasn't popping or anything, but I just felt like I injured myself. And so I stopped with the squats, and I tried to move on to the dumbbell lunging, and it was painful. So I called it. I just walked away. I came home, and I couldn't get out of bed for about the next 4 days. I mean, I got out of bed, but I really spent about 4 days on the couch. It was incredibly painful. I couldn't stand up straight. It got better every day, so I knew that I didn't need to see the doctor or anything, but I was icing and heating and taking baths. And so that was about 3 weeks ago. So I took 2 weeks off. The first week, there was nothing I can do. The second week, I will admit, I was scared to go back. And now I'm kind of scared to go back to the book. And so I have started iron again, just as kind of a way to ease back into things. Getting hurt is very scary, and I am not particularly athletic. Whenever I try to push really hard, I tend to get hurt. And so I am always trying to find the middle ground when it comes to exercise. I'm telling you guys, every time I have set like, I'm gonna run a 10K or something like that, and I start working towards it, I get hurt. I don't know why. I tend to do better when I am just moderate. Working hard, but not overdoing it. And really taking a day off in between. I'm doing Carolyn Gervin's iron again, but I'm not, she does it's a 5 days a week, I believe. I'm just doing one routine and then taking the day off and doing another routine. The other thing I'm really focusing on is mobility. Now, I did yoga for a very long time, and yoga is about flexibility and stretching. And I think I started to overstretch myself. I'm not a naturally flexible person, but I was starting to injure myself with my own flexibility. And so I started to look into mobility, which is really more about focusing on the things that deteriorate as you age. So for example, think about an older person you've known who had a hard time getting up and out of a chair and sitting in a chair, those kind of things. If you don't work those muscles, you lose them. And I have signed up for something called the Simplistic Mobility Method through this guy named Tom Morrison. I'll link all of this below. He's on YouTube. He has a ton of free videos that I use and really like, but this simplistic mobility method is a sequence that I do several times a week that really works on maintaining and mobility. Things that definitely go away as you age. So throughout this video, I have been showing you everything that I eat in a day or I ate today, and then also some of my exercise routines. If nothing else, when you exercise, you are lapping everyone on the couch. I do want to encourage you to do more than cardio, though. I think as women, we love cardio. I love cardio. It is my absolute favorite. I would just do cardiovascular stuff all day long if I could, walking and running. But strength is really, really important as we age. And so if nothing else, pick up some weights and do something. Check out Carolyn Gervin, check out Tom Morrison, and let's age well together, and let's try and live healthy and long lives. And thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.